Hello, dreamers and wanderers. Welcome to Dream and Wanderland and a new tarot reading. I'm Pia, your host and tarot reader, and thanks a lot for being here and watching and coming back all the time. And yeah, so let's dive into the next week's message for us. And yeah, I will start with the Work Your Light Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell and then continue with the tarot cards, this third eye tarot deck I have here. So let's move into it. So what is the message for the week ahead? It's a timeless reading, so whenever you find this video, then your week will start. And it's a collective one as well, so if there's anything that doesn't resonate with you, then just forget about it, leave it here, and just take the messages that are resonating with you. So we have, all right, so we have break the chains. So anything around your, some patterns from your ancestors, healing, rewrite your future. So everything that's connected to that is, that's your message for the next week. I'm sorry, I can't. I somehow feel speechless at that time. So I don't know, something's going on here. But for sure, okay, sorry, that's not it yet. I'm still here somehow. Okay, so it might be the case that some kinds of patterns, karmic things, beliefs are still with you but are not yours, because it's somehow taken over from your ancestors, from your ancestral lines, from the people who are there before you. Any kind of beliefs, fears, maybe. If you feel fear around a topic that it's completely doesn't make sense at all for you right now, then there's a possibility that it's a fear from one of your ancestors. For me, for example, just to give you an example, because I'm kind of lost of words here. So one of my biggest fears is around the topic of losing my home and becoming homeless. And it doesn't make any kind of sense for me personally, because I'm living in Germany, and Germany is usually a country which has, although a lot of German might complain about it, but it's still one of the most secure social systems I know in the world. So I can't, so from a very neutral and objective point of view, I can't imagine any case where you are forced to become homeless. I mean, there might be a couple of exceptional, very individual stories where circumstances led to the fact that they became homeless, but usually, I mean, if you lose your job, you fall into a security system, social system, where you can have a home, some money to survive. It's not that you can live in luxury, but it will help you to buy some food and to pay your electricity bills and things like that. You will survive. You might need to move into a smaller and cheaper apartment. Could happen as well. I'm not sure about the current rules, but usually there's no reason to be or to become homeless. So from that point of view, my fear of becoming homeless just because I, for example, want to quit my job because I want to have more freedom to travel and do all the things and have a work that makes a little bit more sense to me personally and not working for someone else. So if I quit my job, I immediately connect that to, oh my God, I don't get any money into my accounts on a regular basis, and that's why I become homeless. And so from that point of view, it doesn't make any kind of sense that I have that fear, because even if I quit my job, there might be a period where I don't get immediately the money that I need from the state, but there will be like 3 months or something like that. I will get some first money to bridge a time when I don't have a job. And even if I don't find a job on time, there is another security level that is less money, but still enough to survive. So no reason to have that fear of really getting homeless. However, I have an idea where this fear comes from, and what we know today is that some fears can be brought over to following generations by DNA and all the things. And maybe this has happened here because all of my grandparents, for example, my great-grandparents already, because they were the parents of my grandparents, of course, so my great-grandparents and my grandparents were children at that time. So actually my great-grandparents survived 2 world wars and potentially losing their home twice in some form. What I do know is that they definitely lost their home in the Second World War, because they at least, yes, so 3 out of 4 grandparents at least lived in a part of Germany at that time, which is now Poland. And when Germany lost the war, they had to flee and they had to leave their home because it wasn't Germany anymore. And the guys from Poland wanted to leave them. So they lost everything. And so they lost already everything, like their home, their friends, they didn't have anything. So they basically just had what they had on their bodies. So I believe that somehow this fear was brought to me, and I still feel it today because my one grandma that is still alive, she is so full of fear about pretty much everything, about losing, especially losing in general, people, homes, money, food, whatever. And it really feels like it's also part of her fears, which was somehow imprinted in my DNA, and that's why I have that fear right now. So my job for this lifetime could be to break that chain of fear. Like, really, I mean, I believe that it won't go away forever. But I will find a way to handle that, and it feels like that this fear is already less prominent in my thinking, but it's still not small enough to really quit my job right now without having the feeling of security that I know that where the money comes from, especially because I don't want to give up my current lifestyle. So if that wouldn't be part of the fear, then maybe I could say, okay, I want to try something else. On the other hand, my job is still fun enough to stay in there, so no worries about that. But of course, my long-term goal is to be free from that any kind of job restrictions, and being that financially free that I can travel and go anywhere when I like and how long I like. And this is, of course, not possible with the current job that I have right now. Okay, so this was a long story as an example for what I mean here with beliefs from ancestors, beliefs, fears, patterns, anything that these chains needs to be broken up, healed, and so that you can write your own future and not let that future influenced by beliefs and fears that are not even yours. So seems like a good task for the upcoming week. And now let's dive into the tarot cards and see what exactly, oh, that's a good question. Maybe we ask them what those patterns are, what you could do to break and heal them. I mean, it's easy. Just break it, just say it. I don't want that anymore. In theory. Practical, it could be that easy, but sometimes our human brain wants a little bit of a process. So let's see what we could do to help our human brain, human body to actually move with our soul to break those cycles. Okay. What are those patterns that needs to be broken here? Okay, something around the Eight of Pentacles is especially with that picture on this deck here, on this card. The first impulse that I had when I saw this card was that it's something around working hard, that work always needs to be hard, or that gaining money needs to be hard always. Oops. Because, I mean, that's also something that really was very, I mean, work in those days, or even those days during the war, after the war, it wasn't really easy. It was a different time, it was a different generation, different circumstances, and of course they needed to work hard because they had nothing anymore. At least a lot of people had nothing anymore, and they needed to really start from a point of having nothing to build something up. And this, of course, that might be hard. And of course they think work always needs to be hard, which might be something that you heard all of your lifetime so far. Like when you were a child, maybe you heard sentences like, money doesn't grow on trees, or money doesn't lay around on the streets out there, or you have work, you have to work hard for your money and things like that. Maybe you have heard such things and maybe you believe them, and maybe you still believe that this is the case. And maybe this is one of your beliefs and patterns that needs to be broken and healed today. Because now, or today, with all our opportunities and possibilities and options, work doesn't need to be that hard anymore. So think about that. So is there anything else that we, or at least some of us, need to break the cycle? Okay, 6 of Cups. Something is coming up from your past. Maybe this is a hint that this is exactly, so maybe that's it. It feels like this is some kind of a confirmation that this is the case, that this is what we need to work on this week. 6 of Cups. It could be something from your childhood as well, especially with the grown up here, the little child one here, and it feels like that the okay. Usually this card could be interpreted as you taking care of your inner child. But somehow in this case, it more feels like the inner child wants to tell you something. Maybe something about the lightness that you felt when you were a child, that this lightness, this easiness, this playfulness, curiosity, things like that, those really childish skills and ability that a child has to explore life and enjoy life. And it feels like that this is what your inner child wants to gift you, to bring back into your current life as well. And together with the work doesn't need to be hard. Yeah, it makes it so much lighter and brighter and more playful and more fun eventually, right? So this could be something here. Okay. Is there anything else? If not, then it's fine too. 7 of Wands, something around conflicts. Okay. So I'm not sure if it is connected to these. So it's probably something that is from your past somehow, from your inner child, like child period, but not necessarily, or maybe not necessarily connected to the work needs to be hard thing. Maybe something around competition and that there only can be one. So it's that maybe that's one of the beliefs that was brought over to your generation from one of your ancestors, or something that was told you in the past, or something that, yeah, that you were taught, that being successful means that there can't be someone else around you. And that needs to be healed as well, because there is, I mean, you are a limitless being. You are soul. Your soul is part of the divine, the big divine spiritual world. You are, yeah, if you want to call it God, you are God's creation, and you are part of that whole system. And so in fact you are limitless as well. And when you are limitless, then there are limitless opportunities and possibilities, and which means that there is always enough for all of us. So it doesn't mean if you are successful then nobody else can't be successful, so that you always have to beat all the others around you, or the other way around. Maybe you have the fear that there are people who will do everything to become successful, which could be to your costs. Goes into both directions. It feels like that this is part of your patterns that you are supposed to break as well in your life. And as I said, it's a collective reading. Not everything must be resonate or have to resonate with all of you. Maybe it's just one or the other, or both, or none of them. Really feel into you and see what resonates. And if there's nothing, then that's fine too. Don't make it resonating, and find something which is not there. But if so, then now I'm gonna ask the cards what we can do to actively break that cycle, that patterns, that chain. And there's, okay. Okay. The Nine of Wands. Yeah, it's okay. So I keep that turn around for a moment. The Nine of Wands is a card that tells you, or yeah, that talks about past wounds, or wounds that you got in the past from whatever. Maybe it's connected to those, and somehow they are still there in your, whether in your conscious mind or at least in your subconscious mind. And this is what brings up even more fears, beliefs, stories about how things are and will be. Your task here, or your homework with the Nine of Wands, is really getting aware of those wounds. What is still there? What do you believe how things are and always will be? And then really really cut those off. I mean, you can be aware of them and what happened in the past, but still, and decide that the future will be rewritten and looks different from what your past looks like. So this is an active decision of not being your wounds. You have your wounds and your scars, yes, but you are not those wounds and those scars. You can still live differently, although you still have them. So, and then with the King of Swords, he's a very, or this energy is a very clear-minded, focused strategy-like energy. And he has the sword here, and he is really able to cut those things off. He's really able to judge. We have the judge, like this hammer here that judges always have, at least what I have seen from any kind of TV shows. Like the hammer there, that is the judgment. He really can judge what is still helping you and what not. What he choose, what is a belief that is helping or not, what's supporting, what's serving or not, what is a fear or a belief or past experiences and memories that influence your future in a way that it holds you back or not. And then he looks at it. I mean, he really looks at those wounds that you carries and where they come from and what experience you made with that. And he's also, I mean, both are still, this one here even more, still in alert mode that something can happen. And the King of Swords is already in a mode where he exactly knows that he survived everything and can choose and is prepared to protect himself, but is also aware, and also he decided on not to believe that everything around him is dangerous. He's prepared, he can protect himself, but he's not in alert mode 24/7 or something like that. He is, and this might be your task for this upcoming week or for the next couple of days. I don't think that this is done in, I mean, it can be if you're really one of those quick decision makers that really say, okay, now that I know that there is something that doesn't really serve me and support me, now I decide to not believe that anymore and change my beliefs and thinking around fear and what hurt me in the past and things like that, and change my way of thinking for the future and ongoing. So that would be the King of Swords, the really embodiment of the King of Swords. Really decide, okay, I don't want that anymore. I change my way of thinking for the future. If you're not that quick in making or letting go of such stuff, then it's okay that if it takes a few days more or a few weeks. But really look at it. Have a look at it and see how or if those beliefs work as hard. There only can be one. You already had experiences from the past that hurt you. Yeah, really decide to let those beliefs go and invite this playfulness from your inner child here, from this playfulness, this lightness, this easygoing, let's see what the day brings, playful curiosity energy. Okay, is there one final tip from the divine for us? The Eight of Swords, yeah. If you manage to do that and find your vision and follow your vision and really make that step forward, then you become unstuck again. And because the Eight of Swords is really just a feeling and thinking and belief that you can't do things differently without knowing and seeing with the blind on her eyes that it's actually possible. So the only thing you need to do is breaking the chains, take away this blind and see the way out and your North Star here, your guiding light. And this is with the King of Swords is what is helping you here. Okay, no, I think that's it for today. This is it for the next week. It's still a lot. Yeah, nothing else is coming through, so I will end this at this point. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you want to dive deeper into something, feel free to book a personal reading with me. The links are in the description box. If you want to work with me in general, then feel free to comment or reach out to me, or there are ways to work on such stuff and really making sure that you will create what you're dreaming of and create your dream life. And yeah, I'm open and available for working together towards your dream life and work on your mindset here and rewiring your way of thinking and feeling and believing. And yeah, so feel free to leave me a like or a comment, subscribe to the channel if you are new, switch on the notifications so that you don't miss any future readings. And yeah, let's meet again in the next reading. Bye.